Jonathan with Iron Mind Hypnosis here. Most every situation or system we find ourselves in where there's conflict, there's really these systems where we have ourselves and the person that we're in conflict with. As much as they are about right and wrong as we see them, these systems are also two halves of a coin. Neither half could be in this conflict without the other. Sure, if the person you're in conflict with at work was terminated, you would probably not be in conflict with them anymore, although you would probably still be in conflict with their memory. If the person you're in a relationship with was to not be in a relationship with you anymore, you'd probably stop having arguments with them, but you'd still be in conflict with their memory. But the thing is, whether it's a political argument, a philosophical argument, or a marital thing, or any of these debates, like watching British and American friends debate the virtues and vices of tea and coffee. These things are all just different parts of the same system. Arguing about things, preferences within a confined area. There's anything in the whole world or universe or scope of behaviors possible that could happen. But in these conflicts, the actions that get chosen are actions that balance with the other person. It's like how children often see themselves in conflict with their parents. And much to the alarm of adults as they age, at some point they start to see themselves as their parents, or see their parents while looking at the mirror. Or perhaps someone will point out how their behavior reminds them of their parents' behavior. Because even though the people that we're in systems with, whether that's a family system, a work system, basically any other system, if we're in conflict in a system with these people, we've got something very much in common with them. The system has rules for what sorts of things are even going to be considered, what sorts of ways of being can even be conflicted about. And things that are outside of that just either don't happen or don't catch any notice. So, what does this tell us? What do we do with this knowledge? It's actually possible, though not at all common, to use our unconscious minds with their tremendous creativity to step entirely out, step a level above the level of a system that we have been in. Now, this does not necessarily mean that we step out of the physical plane in some way, that we stop showing up to work or stop showing up in our relationships. In fact, it might be quite the opposite. But it's possible to use our unconscious minds and the creativity of the full capacity of our mind to find a different game to play, a different struggle to strive, which subsumes all the things that used to happen and is in a different, just a whole different level. And those things that used to be frustrations, the fights that used to be, no longer have to frustrate us. Oh, sure, there can still be differences in the way that you and somebody else prefer to do things. And there can, in fact, be differences in the way things get done. But when your unconscious mind delivers you a higher way of interacting with this part of your life, the old struggles just somehow are at a lower level. They're not your problem in quite the same way anymore. Assuming it's safe and appropriate to do so, I'd like you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, let the tension melt out of your body, and join me in a time of reflection, pondering, creativity. Now, there's so many ways to become more relaxed, noticing the surface beneath you to keep you safe. Sounds around you help you focus on this experience, and my voice will go with you. Tension flowing out of your body is peace, comfort, and relaxation. Replace what you're noticing physically. Increase more and more peace, comfort, and relaxation. Now, you can, of course, find yourself in any sort of peaceful place. And from a place of peace that's perfect for you, you can find a path or a doorway, an opening or a secret passage. It will take you to a place of deep unconscious processing, where you will have an adventure and a time to be creative. And when you find that path, you're going to count from 10 down to 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, getting much closer now. 4, 3, you can almost sense it, almost see it. 2, 1. In a place of deep unconscious processing. Is this place inside or outside? Is it daytime or nighttime? Are you alone or are you with others? And you can enjoy this space because there are lessons in this space. There might even be things that will serve as symbols to you in some way. And you can continue to listen to my voice and ponder ideas while you enjoy that space. Now, there are many places, many conflicts where people believe that victory over their opponent is the goal. And there may be many situations where that is very beneficial. Sports teams, of course, love to win. They practice, they drill. Even as children's teams, they show up to practice. They show up to drills. They drill specific skills so that they can perform well in the field. And that's true whether it's football, soccer, rugby, baseball, or softball. In fact, it's even true of t-ball. In fact, golfers spend a great deal of time, even though it's a solitary sport in many ways, at the driving range, getting coaching, perhaps reading up. All so they can perform well. When golfing, near others, perhaps with friends. And it's true that golfing is technically played against the course. But so often, golfers are actually also playing against the friends that are with them, competing. Length of drive, trying to keep their score low, trying to impress their friends, associates, perhaps colleagues, or potential colleagues. And some get very frustrated when things aren't going their way. And some golfers get very determined to improve their skills, hoping to save just one or two strokes off their previous best. And this, of course, is not the only game where people invest great effort to beat their opponent, to outperform their previous skills. A person can find an interest in chess, a great game of strategy and tactics. And even though it's not a physical sport, likewise, players invest hours playing against talented opponents, reading books, learning strategy and philosophy, memorizing moves, and studying the play of advanced players, masters. There's all manner of sport, all manner of games. Some games are played with cards. Some games are played with dice. Some games are played with balls. Some games are physical. Some games are more in the mind. It's a funny thing about even the physical games. Some physical games can have one team that always plays very physically, focusing on speed and agility and strength, while another team might play the same game by the same rules. With the same equipment, and do so very mentally, very strategically, choosing to favor the mental side of that physical game, while their opponent takes the physical side of the physical game. And no one choice necessarily guarantees a win. The thing with all of these games is that as earnestly and deliberately as you want to win when you play these games, whether they're a fun board game, perhaps a video game even, Maybe you find yourself golfing and you're so focused on trying to get your score down. Or maybe you find yourself in a social game of basketball, just playing around the neighborhood. And your goal is to get the score up. In whichever game you're playing, you want to do well. You want to be pleased with your performance. And so you give a good effort, a thoughtful strategy. And to the extent that physicality is appropriate, you use good exertion. You use your strength, moving, running, being agile. And as interested as you certainly are in getting to win, feeling that victory, the game is only really fun if the opposing play, the opposing team, has some chance every now and again. Very rarely, but every now and again. Two teams in the same league, playing the same sport, will in fact be very mismatched. And when this happens, the scores can be very one-sided. Very one-sided indeed. Perhaps scores in some games over 100, maybe more in others. Now, when a very skilled team encounters a very unskilled opponent, they can choose many options. Sometimes, indeed, they choose to run the score up as high as possible. Special kind of game. It's actually just the point that everyone else plays the game for. But now that's the only challenge. And sometimes a team that is far too skilled their opposition plays less hard. There's no challenge. There's so little point to exerting your full power. Putting in a good effort is mostly wasted. Why? When victory is assured. So it's a funny thing that everyone wants to win because they do want to win. Yet, if anyone did win, certainly, without any doubt or risk, they would very quickly be tempted to stop playing or stop playing as hard. The game, in fact, would stop being a game in any normal sense of the word. It's not a contest of the same sort. There are places in literature, stories, novels, television programming, where the protagonist, the character or characters that we root for win a great victory in a massive struggle. Great deeds are done, much effort. And yet, over the course of time, usually the whole length of the piece of literature, you begin to see that these characters so dear to us are not better off. In fact, they may have gone from one type of oppression to another. Or they may have gone from oppressor to oppressed, or oppressed to oppressor. Victor to vanquished. back again. So many centuries ago, there was a philosopher of the Stoic tradition, still often quoted today. He said that the best revenge was not to be like your enemy, but how can that be? How can we be like our enemy? How can we not be like our enemy? How can we be different in a way that's anything other than opposite? For up, there is a down. For left, there is a right. Forward, there is a backward. For hot, there is cold. For new, there is old. For rough, there is smooth. So many other things. Opposites. And yet, what if there's an answer beyond opposite? A different answer, even the first answer. And you can find stories of teams so proficient at their sport, and people tried to ban them, tried to prevent them from playing. Many accusations, of course, many contrivances. And sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. But a contest. It is so poorly matched. The most highly skilled players are bored. The team destined to lose is demoralized. No point there either. And did any fans even show up to fill the stadium? But what if that highly skilled team does something different with their skills? What if a basketball team not only knows how to pass and dribble and shoot, but they learn dozens of other amusing tricks and learn to demonstrate their skills for the enjoyment of everyone who watches, not as a contest, but as an inspiring demonstration. What if a golfer uses their skill to teach others how to lower their score? Tell others about courses played in the past, interesting history, there's so many ways to use the skills in any field of endeavor. So many of them are not at all obvious. And you can just spend some silent time in that special place of deep processing that you're discovering. And I will be quiet for a little while. When my voice returns, it will not disturb you in any way. You can continue right on enjoying this place. And you can continue drifting and dreaming about all of the little stories and all of the situations, all the fun game nights, all the interesting challenges, all the contests. And you might continue to dream on these dreams, wondering what the lesson really is as you sleep this night or the next night, or every night this week. Still having good rest, dreams of appropriate strength for restful sleep, and interesting answers. And there will be something from this consideration you can take out into the outside world. Maybe an image or sound or thought, an understanding or some words, maybe a symbol. And we're going to travel. I'll count you from 1 to 10 back into that safe place from before. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaving the place of deep unconscious processing behind. Going to your safe place of peace. 5, 6, 7, almost there. 8, 9, and 10. And go ahead and enjoy your place of peace. Notice some of your favorite highlights, things you've always enjoyed, things you do enjoy. And shortly, I'm going to ask you to wake all the way back up, back into the physical world. And we'll do that on the count of 5. So in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And when I reach 5, you're going to be fully wide awake and alert, ready for your day, ready for whatever you've got in front of you. Having taken a special insight from this time, from this special space, these special considerations. 1, becoming aware of the seat beneath you. 2, knowing where you are physically located. 3, taking a deep breath of energy-giving oxygen, letting that oxygen fill your blood and travel to all tissues, every cell and tendon, structure of your body. Feeling good, feeling energized. 4, doing a big stretch, moving your fingers and toes. And 5, wide awake, fully alert, ready for whatever the day brings you. And I hope you have a wonderful day today. And keeping that special knowledge, that special insight. And I don't know if it's fully formed for you, or if it is the sort of thing that will continue to grow, maybe in your dreams, maybe in your daydreams, maybe in your thoughts and reminiscences as you go through life, looking for anything that's different than opposite. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.